Hey, what's up guys, the Danimator here, and I'm here with an unpopular opinion. I'm going to be telling you guys why I actually love Sonic Lost World. Now, I know this game actually came out a couple of years ago. I'm a bit late to the party, but I say better late than never, and, you know, life gets in the way and whatnot, but I'm finally getting around to making it, so here we go. First of all, let me get into some of the aspects of the game that I'm not as excited to talk about. Things that are kind of expected, like the music and, you know, plot and whatnot, before I, you know, touch more on the gameplay, which is, you know, obviously the main point of this video. Alright, so the story slash plot line. I feel it gets the job done. There's kind of some cool moments here and there, but it's nothing too special. It's just kind of there. That's been kind of a problem I've had with Sonic games lately in general, is I kind of miss the old, like, kind of more epic plot lines that the adventure games had. But once again, gets the job done. Not too many complaints. It's not what this review's really about, but I feel like I had to talk about it. And I feel like I have to talk about the voice acting a little bit, because I'm a really big fan of voice acting in general. I'm really passionate about it.
That was cool. Pun entirely intended.
Overall, I think it gets the job done. It's actually really good. I'm really glad that they finally got rid of the 4Kids voice actors, because the majority of them I thought were just, you know, they were alright. I'm a way bigger fan of Roger Craig Smith as Sonic. I do miss Ryan Drummond. He will always be my favorite.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Once again, though, not the point of this video. Just felt like I had to touch upon it. And the music. It's a Sonic game. The music's great. Well, now that that's out of the way, let's get to what I'm really here to talk about, the gameplay. Now, I see a lot of people that say they dislike this game because it either controls poorly or because it's too hard. I have to ask these people, did you really, like, learn the controls? I found for myself that once I actually learned how to control Sonic and got all of his moves down, the game was incredibly fun. And I actually have this gut feeling that that's why a lot of people didn't like the game, is and I can understand too, because I know that, you know, a lot of the old Sonic games, or just Sonic games in general, a lot of times they're kind of just like, they're very pick up and play. You don't have to learn like too much. So I think a lot of people were just picking it up expecting to get used to it really quick, but when they found out they couldn't, I think they kind of either kind of like BS'd their way through the game or tried to play when they didn't really know what they were doing, and then just decided it was too hard and decided they didn't like it without really giving it a fair chance. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but just in case that's a thing, I kind of wanted to shed some light on this. So I know it's been years since the game has come out, but let me actually go over the controls. Alright, you hold the right trigger to run, I'm sure everyone knows that. And, of course, you hold the left trigger to spin dash. And then you tap A twice near an enemy to do the homing attack. Then it sort of chain combos them, just like in previous Sonic games. When you're near a trail of rings, you'll follow the trail of rings by light dashing. Now, if you're near an enemy and you press A to jump and Y while in the air, you will perform the kick attack. Some enemies can only be killed with the kick attack. If you do the same thing and you're not near an enemy, you'll actually do the bounce attack, which is from Adventure 2, which is pretty cool. You can roll by standing and pressing Y, which comes in handy if you're walking through that gunky stuff and you're going really slow. You can actually get out of it quicker by rolling. Now for a bit of an advanced move, what's really cool, and one of my favorite things you can do in the game that's great for speedrunning, is while you're spin dashing, you can keep the spin dash going by holding down the left trigger and the direction you want to move in, which is really fun. You can even jump while doing it, so you can just pummel through large parts of the level while spin dashing. Like I said, great for speedrunning. Now, if you run towards a wall and press the right trigger, you'll run on the wall. Lots of hardcore parkour in this game. One of the coolest things in this game, and it's actually one of my favorite moves in any game ever made, is that if you spin dash while you're running on the wall, you can actually keep your momentum going. It's super addicting. And just look at some of the things you can achieve once you actually know what you're doing with the controls. The game is a completely different animal. Hedgehog. which gets me to my next point. I feel like this is another big part of the reason why people didn't learn the controls very well, is because in games these days, usually they kind of spoon feed you everything. You know, there'll be tutorials or walkthroughs or whatever in the game that basically say, oh, press this to do this, or, you know, hold this button combination to do that. And in this game, it kind of just, like, throws you in a level, and it's like, okay, figure things out. And as someone that used to play a lot of retro games back in the day, and still does a lot to this day, maybe that's one of the reasons I like this a lot more, is I tend to get really just, like, frustrated and, like, it makes me want to turn the game off when the game just, like, takes, you know, like an hour or whatever. That might be an exaggeration, but like that long to just explain what to do. Like, I'd rather just figure a lot of it out on my own. It's like the game just treats you like you're dumb a lot of times, and for me, Sonic Lost World didn't do that. And it was super fun on a personal level to actually figure out how to do everything, and I actually had a lot of fun with that. Maybe people didn't, but that's something I really liked. I also can't say enough how much I absolutely love the freedom of movement and exploration. In previous games, you know, mostly Unleashed and Colors, and even Generations, although it did improve upon it, there's not as much exploration or freedom of movement, especially in Sonic Colors. The game kind of just forces you on a set path, and you can't really diverge from the path at all. But in Sonic Lost World, it kind of harkens back to the classics to me, where you actually have a lot more places you can go. You can find alternate pathways, like more secrets and stuff like that. I do have to say that in Generations, like, I do think that they improved upon that a lot, because there's a lot more platforming, there's, you know, more places to go and stuff like that, and there is more freedom of movement in Generation, so it did improve upon it. But Sonic Lost World kind of takes it to an extreme, and that's something that I was just dying for in a Sonic game, personally. Like, just, I was so sick of the linearity. Is that a word, linearity? Anyways, I was sick of it. I was just sick of not really feeling like I had the freedom to, like, really go anywhere. And like I said, for me, Sonic Lost World was a complete 180, and I personally appreciated it. A lot of people also complain that they slowed Sonic down way too much, and, you know, he's sluggish and whatnot, and they don't like the run button. Now, the run button thing I can definitely understand. I mean, honestly, like, would the game probably have worked just as well if you just kind of, like, built momentum instead of just, like, pressing the run button to run? I'm not really sure. I feel like they could have done it. I'm not a game designer, so I don't know. I do know, though, that personally it doesn't bother me. Like, I feel like the Wii U gamepad is really comfortable to press the button down. I do know when I'm playing on my computer, I have kind of like an off-brand Xbox 360 controller, and when you hold the trigger down, it's actually, like, kind of tiring on your finger, so that's kind of annoying. But overall, it's just not really a big deal to me. I've heard a lot of people also say that they don't like the game because it's too much like a Mario game, I guess. Sonic Lost World, to me, takes some of the Mario gameplay elements and gives them a Sonic-y twist. Sonic-y twist, it sounds like a food you'd get from Sonic the Restaurant. To me, it took what was good about Mario and just added Sonic elements to it. The Mario games are really well received. I don't really see the problem there. I think they have great controls, and I think Lost World took a number from that and took a note from that, and made kind of a Sonic game with a lot of Mario influence, which I personally loved. I think it's fine. Now, with all this being said, I do have to say the game does have its flaws. There's definitely, like, pacing issues throughout. Some of the levels just feel kind of inconsistent. I think I feel this way a lot less than most people do, but I can totally see what they're saying, because I definitely do feel like it a little bit. There were definitely a couple of levels that felt way too gimmicky, and they diverged way too much from the core gameplay. Frozen Factory Zone 2. But I actually even found a lot of those levels pretty dang fun, like Tropical Coast Zone 3 and Lava Mountain Zone 2, where you do the grinding and stuff. I found those super fun. I love those levels. Not to mention they have some of the best music in the whole franchise, in my opinion. Anyways, for some reason, to me, this game felt like... It kind of felt like what would have come after the Sega Saturn era, like if the Sonic Adventure games had never existed, God forbid. But this almost feels like something from back then to me, and like I said, I just don't see why more people don't like it. So I'm just trying to make a video where I analyze this and try to figure it out because I've never understood it. I mean, like I said, I do think the game has its flaws, but I mean, overall, I just think it's super fun. Like, it's one of the only Sonic games that I really go back and, like, really replay. Or just every now and then I'll just get the urge to turn on and replay it. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I did have this with the adventure games and stuff, but, like, no recent Sonic games have I really felt that way about all too much. But in this game, I'll literally just be thinking of, like, a random level, like, I'm not even really thinking about playing games at all, and it'll just, like, hit me, oh, I really want to play that level right now. So, I think that's pretty special. I mean, not many Sonic games have done that for me, aside from the classics. To me, Sonic Lost World actually harkens back to a time where games were more experimental in a good way, and more fun and more challenging, with great controls. That's how I feel about it. And I know I'm going to have to just agree to disagree with a lot of people when I say this, but I really hope that a lot of people look back at Sonic Lost World in the far future and just think, wow, that was a hidden gem. That's how I feel about it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope some people agree, and maybe I'll even have some people that kind of come out and admit they felt the same way about the game. Who knows, maybe everyone will hate me. That's also a strong possibility. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a big fat thumbs down and tell me I'm smelly. And if you want to see more videos like this, I mean, obviously, please subscribe and give me a good comment, or, you know, donate $1 billion to me. It's whatever. I mean, not that the last one's really important or anything. I mean, not that I'm asking you guys to do that. Please do that.